Hello and welcome to Steve's Backyard Bonsai. Today I'm going to be continuing and hopefully getting the storm drains fitted, getting the grates finally put on, and getting the curb attached to this piece permanently. So that's a lot for one day, and I'm hoping I get to at least most of that. The storm drains themselves need to be cut down. You know, whatever you call this, the entrance into the storm drain needs to be cut down in length. And I think I need to extend these by one more section, and I'll show you why. All right, I'm gonna have to cut these to size, obviously, but in real life, they're made to sit down right on the grate. And I cut the grate a little short, so it really doesn't sit on it. But if I go one more, it'll actually sit on the grate and look more like real life. So that's how I'm going to proceed today. I'm going to remake these, and then I've got to tackle these. I've marked the width that they're supposed to be, which is the same width as the grate. I'm going to take it off of each end. I'm going to use the Dremel with a metal cutting blade in it, which is making me a little nervous. And then if I were to just attach these on either end to the curb, I don't think it would be a sturdy enough connection. So I've got these pieces on the back that I'm going to cut off, and maybe I was going to cut them off completely, but maybe I should leave something to set in something on the base of the on the base of the pot at the right height to give it some stability over time. And it would, if it would move independently of everything else. Yeah, I think that's the way to go. I think that's the way to go. And then, of course, I'm going to lay out and cut the entry into the storm drain. I would hopefully do a better job than that. I noticed a few as I was walking with Luca this morning, because that's what I do. The nicest ones come to a gentle arc, and there's an actual apex to the curve. Then there's some others that are just flat across the top. They look more modern. So I'm going to try and get that apex to the curve, making it, I don't know, kind of like a mosque roof. I don't know what you would call it. Anyway, that's what I'm going for. And I did test to see that the metal cutting blade cut. But it's going to have to take a careful touch. This is a thick piece that I'm going to be cutting through. I'm going to go straight down here and straight up here, and I'll mount this to something that'll support it in the space. You get it. All right, here we go. It's going to be a long day. Now, I'm choosing to cut the length first so I can use this chunk to help me clamp it down. And for stability, I'm going right on the anvil itself, or right on the vise itself. Let me give myself a little more room here. I'm working with an uneven, a tapered surface, so it's really only grabbing in one spot. All right, let me cut this out. I'm going to leave just a slight bit extra, and I may hand file it down after that, or I'll see how good I get on using the Dremel. I've never used a cutoff blade to cut through aluminum. before. It's always been a hacksaw. And who knows, I may end up doing that again. Yeah, I'm not liking that at all. I'm gonna go get a hacksaw. How to take a long day and make it even longer. So no sooner did I get that first piece cut that the skies opened up and I'm sitting out the rain on my back porch. Of course, I had to bring my power tools in. Anything that might rust got put into a plastic bin, and here I sit waiting for the skies to clear again. I hope they do, because I got a lot to do. And this may be the last in this series for a little while. I do have a lot of late summer pruning to attend to, and also some domestic chores that have been hanging over my head. I know you'll understand. That's why I wanted to get so much done today, but we'll see what happens. All right, be back when it's a little clearer, I hope. But the good news is I may get some water in my IBC cube. It's actually almost full from the last rainstorm. Well, wouldn't you know it, the sun came out, but it is hot, so I've decided to just keep working out here on the porch, and I'll cut these new grates. I'm not going to have to subject you to all of this, but I just wanted to make it one bigger. Let's see. Where would that be? Would that be here? Yeah, okay. And the same width. So one bigger is right there. And the same width is right here. And of course I'll trim these up like I did the other. Just making sure. Yeah. Okay, I'll trim those up and get a whole another one cut. All right, I'll finish these up and we'll move on to the next step. All right, now I'm just going to file the ends down to make them smooth best I can. Just basically taking all the tool marks off. And trying to maintain square. This edge is going to be glued to slate. All right. You see how it reacts to sandpaper there. Let me just check it for square. Pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good. Just soften the edge a little. Maybe I'll get a little file for that. And come down a little bit more with this. It's high in the back. Yeah, I'll come back to you when this is done. All right, in case you've not been able to visualize what I'm trying to do here, does this help? Yeah, you'll see. You'll see. All right, here they both are. And I got to figure out some way to mount these. It's time to put the first coat of waterproofing on this. I'm going to start underneath. I checked the Flex Seal. It seems a little more viscous than it ever did. But I'm going to put it on quite liberally. And this is the underside, as I said. And I got to let it dry between coats, so that was my thermocell running out of battery. Good thing I have two going. If you don't know thermocell, then you better like mosquitoes. I've been battling mosquitoes my whole life. This is the first thing I've ever used that really, really works. Goes on thick, but goes on nice. I can't afford there to be any water infiltration to this material because I think it will break down over time. Even though it's fiber cement, it delaminates. I have it on my house. It was an early version of it, but I have it on my house, and there are sections mostly where there was abrasion and ice dripping down on it, where it delaminated. So, just being extra cautious. Now, I can turn this around because it's up on feet. I don't have to worry about it touching anything. And I'm going to do a single coat here. I'm going to try and avoid the lip because I'm going to have to glue that down. The lip for the grate. I'll coat the top, and like I said, I'm going to try and avoid those lips. Just going to do a thin coat on top. And I want to avoid where the curb is going to go. And this is the road, and the road surface is going to be this material, but I'm going to sprinkle a white and black sand mixture, which was the substrate in my cichlid tanks when I had such things. And that is what I used on my roadway in the larch Penjing, and it looks really good still. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to sprinkle that mixture on the wet surface. And the brush strokes kind of disappear. You know, if you have a thick enough coating on there, because they kind of melt into one another. Another surface that's going to have to be very well waterproofed is the area down in the storm drain. That's where water is going to enter and go down and swish around. I want it to look like, you know, a regular storm drain. When you look in it, it's pretty dark. And my experience with Flex Seal so far is that it does what it says it does. You know, it does what it says on the label. All right, now I just have to do that front. All right, I'll let that dry overnight, and then I'll glue in the storm drain grates and get the curb started. That has to be started by locating the curb cut, putting that in place, and then fitting the pieces that go off of it. That can get another full piece here, but I'm going to have to fit the pieces on this side. That'll be done in the pot. Thanks for keeping me company in my backyard.